me an education to slight, oppress, or discourage my people. Because whatsoever education I acquired out of their sacrifice of over 300 years, I shall use for the salvation of the 400 million black people of the world. And the day when I forsake my people, may God Almighty say there shall be no more life for you. I unequivocally rejected the racist assumption of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior and that he had intended Negroes to be a servant class, hewers of wood and drawers of water. Well, I predicated my view of man the doctrine of Imago Dei. All men, regardless of color, are created in the image of God. Now, from this premise followed the equality of all men and the brotherhood of all men. The biblical injunction of Acts 17:26 reminds us that he created of one blood all nations of men that dwell on the face of the earth. I was most interested in brotherhood within his own race, because if Negroes are created in God's image and Negroes are black, then God must, in some sense, be black. If the white man has the idea of a white God, let him worship his God as he desires. We have found a new ideal, because whilst our God has no color, and yet it is human to see everything through one's own spectacles, and since the white people have seen their God through their white spectacles, we have only now started to see our God through our own spectacles. For we believe in the God of Ethiopia, the everlasting God, God of Father, God of Son, God of Holy Ghost, the one God of all ages. That is the God in whom we believe, but we shall worship him through the spectacles of Ethiopia. For 250 years, we have struggled under the burden and rigors of slavery. We were maimed, we were brutalized, we were ravaged in every way. We are men. We have hopes, we have passions, we have feelings, we have desires just like any other race. The cry all over the world of Canada for the Canadians, of America for the Americans, of England for the English, of France for the French, of Germany for the Germans. Do we take it unreasonably? We the blacks the world should raise the cry back. For the Africans. His back is not yet against the wall. We do not want his back against the wall, because that's the certain parts of Africa in which they cannot live at all. So it is for you, give us a United States of Africa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are not going to be a race with other country. God never intended it, and we are not going to abuse God's confidence in us as men. We are men, human beings, capable of the same acts as any other race, possessing under fair circumstances the same intelligence as any other race. Now Africa's been sleeping. Not dead, only sleeping. The day Africa
Greetings, Empress. Greetings. The video say I'm on, but I can't see anything. I don't know what. Greetings. Not hearing anything either.
Oh yeah, so I'm not at my laptop anyway, so they won't be able to see me.
Oh, greetings, Empress. Yes, now I'm hearing you now.
Yeah, it was my mic was muted.
Okay, greetings now. Give thanks. Yeah, it's Rastafari Soldier, yeah, of Deep Roots TV. What's going on?
Yeah, so the knowledge born already come through, or I guess I missed that part, right?
No, I just finally got up on the screen now. I don't see. He says his mic is mute. I don't see anybody else up on the screen except for
Because
me.
let me see.
I
Okay.
just see like Knowledge Born
Yeah,
Ali
so we
and
was
his mic is muted.
okay, so we was talking about that what's his name again? For
Oh, Marcus
tonight,
Garvey, what the Lynch you talking
Willie
about?
Lynch syndrome.
Oh yeah. Well, I was listening to like speeches of Marcus Garvey, and I just want to take a moment and give thanks, yeah, to you and Knowledge Born for having me on you know that knowledge radio, and I just want to say happy birthday to Marcus Garvey. Happy birthday
Yes.
to all the people, all the Garveyites, all the real African mentality, the philosophy of Marcus Garvey shall live on. And I just want to let him know that his work have not, you know, fallen. His work have not fallen on deaf ears, and we still here in the 20th century, showing that David still slew Goliath, in the words of Emperor Haile Selassie.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Willie Lynch, we were talking about the other day. We were having a conversation on Willie Lynch, and what I'm noticing today in society, especially amongst our people, it appears that we caught this philosophy of wanting to be the master and not be free. And one of the reasons why I say that, Empress, it appears that by us being controlled and manipulated by the master, which is the European male, we have picked up so much actions and attitudes of them. And to me, their main goal on planet Earth is to defeat the melanated race, defeat the male, separate him from the woman, thus so he could conquer her and control her because she is the prize of the earth. So with Willie Lynch now, to me, I think that my people have learned how to destroy themselves from within. You know what I mean?
Of course they have. Not even have they learned it, but even if you show them what they doing is not right, they still going to do it because it feels good. It's more familiar for them to be that that house slave. It feels good to be throwing your brother and your sister under the bus. It feels good to be hating on your brother and sister on the down low. That feels good.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
to
what
me, I think
feelings.
that feel
That's
good
feelings
feeling.
is real.
Yeah, I think the feel good feeling that we feel is a sense of false empowerment. Because to me, it appears that we are lacking power from a financial, moral, physical, because we have no army, we have no country, and
Yeah.
we allow our socio-economic deprivation to become our end result. My sister always tell me, don't let your environment become, your outcome. And it's difficult, especially when you try to be uplifting around people that seems to, like you said, they get a joy out of seeing you fall, which
Yeah, I
is
know.
it's just so difficult to understand people looking like you, going through the same plight as you, and it appears that they're wishing bad for you. And I would think in that a brother man see a mountain to climb, and you get up the mountain and you want to turn around and give a helping hand to a brother or sister. In this world, bro, it appears that your help is coming from strangers, people that you don't expect to help you, and your demise is coming from the closest one around you. So I can't describe it nothing other than the Willie Lynch syndrome. Because Willie Lynch says that, in order to control slaves, what you have to do is just pit them against each other. And however way you can look at that, from in sports, rap battle, the way we talk about each other on social media. I notice we have this brother by the name of Kanye West, and I don't know, maybe because people don't like his philosophy or ideology, our people don't like him. And, there are other people that are doing different things that is just as annoying as him, and they seem to gravitate to him because they're from a different culture. So I don't know if it's a self-hatred or it's just a self-empowerment. Like when you have you see George Floyd dying from the European police officer, having your foot on someone's neck, you have some power. And it appears that our people only can put their foot or their feet or their knee on each other's neck. Because it appears that when you just like how the police officers do it to black kids like Trayvon, it appears that everyone know that they could get away with brutalizing black people, including black people. Recently, I was watching a documentary called 13, and the theme of the documentary basically is that, we as a melanated nation believe all the negative things that the European nation have told us. Thus, we have become this evil. It's like the Europeans don't have to do anything to us anymore. They don't have to do anything.
I know.
We do everything that you could think of. The other day, and I understand you've been protesting in America, and
that's the Willie Lynch syndrome. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know the Willie Lynch syndrome is real and it's alive. I know a lot of
people think that it's not real,
Or they try to say Willie Lynch per se wasn't a human being. He wasn't a person. But I say this. Okay, let's just say Willie Lynch did not exist. But everything he said in his letters and everything that he said that he did to the black race and the effects of it, I see it around me right now every day, all day. He even said it would, if we keep this concept, it will last for 1,000 years or more. So maybe Willie Lynch himself didn't exist, but there were a group of white men, I believe, okay, white racist KKK men that created this figure, Willie Lynch, but put his practices into practical reality. Because if you read his letters, I see a lot of black people operating under the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Exactly.
That's why Dr. Joy Degruy from Virginia did an intensive study on the transatlantic slave trade traumatic syndrome, because she realized that genetics and DNA holds memory. And if your great grandmother was a slave, and then you come all the way down to you now, and you're still thinking you're nothing, you're still thinking you're black and ugly, you're still thinking nappy hair is bad, you get what I'm trying to say? It's a genetic pass down. Just like I got my mother's nose, I inherited from my mother. You inherit that slave trade syndrome, traumatic syndrome from our ancestors. Even if they went in the field, you still inherited it because they were still traumatized. And if you was in the house, being a Negro in the house, you still got it because you're traumatized being up under master, trying to be somebody you're not, while you're telling on your brothers and sisters trying to escape. So either way, you're messed up. Black people everywhere is messed up with it. It ain't just blacks in America. Blacks all over the Caribbean and Europe, North America, South America, anywhere you find a black man or woman. Okay, that's
why I'm happy that you brought me on today, because know that knowledge today, because it's a special day. Today is a special day because it's the birthday of
Garvey told us to get away from the syndrome.
Yes.
We're not listening.
And Marcus wasn't just dealing with people in America. Marcus wasn't dealing with people just in the island. Marcus was dealing with a worldwide.
South America, Europe.
Yeah, because Marcus said, black man, where's your God? Black man, where's your country? Black man, where's your pride? Black man. And basically what he's saying is that he's calling up on you. He's calling you out. Stop making these excuses, because the same attitude of the master that held us down, the master that had his knee on our neck, he had to think about it. No, but we are actually picking up that same habit and doing it now.
We pick up
Master
their
don't even have to
mentality.
leave his house no more.
Yeah, we pick up their mentalities, of course.
Right. And you
You
could tell a
listen to
person,
Marcus Garvey speeches, and he talks about you're a knickerpook, like you're stupid. What's wrong with you?
yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? What's wrong with you? You're gonna die if
And
you
if
don't
you,
get it
no,
right.
no,
You're
if you
going
challenge,
down.
but
And
the
he
thing is
said
that
in
now,
the early 1900s or the mid
that's what I'm,
1900s.
that's the thing that I'm shocked. I'm
And
shocked
now we in
about that.
2020, and we can
Yeah.
say that again.
Yeah. Like, they really take us for stupid because what they're trying to say, Marcus, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all those people, Frederick Douglass, I mean, all of these, Nat Turner, all these people died for nothing. Sojourner Truth, but I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. So if we don't realize that we run around with this terminology, BLM, Black Lives Matter. Yes, it does. That's obvious. And when you have to state the obvious in life,
Yeah, when
I
I
mean,
have to explain why I say that, then that just shows me you're automatically trying to be racist and you
yeah,
don't want to see the point. You don't want to understand why. Nobody never
yeah,
said Irish lives don't matter, but Black lives do. Nobody never
yeah.
said Germany lives don't matter, but Black lives do. We're
And
just
one of the
saying
reasons
Black
why we
lives
have
matter
to say
because
this
it's
because
obvious.
everybody's acting like it does
Because
not.
it's obvious our lives don't matter. Because if you look at how the police treat us, somebody that we look to for protection, if we see how he's treating us, then we would say Black lives should matter. And that
Yeah,
has
but the
nothing to
thing
do,
is,
and they know this already. That's why I don't go, I'm just doing it now, but I don't go the extra mile to try to explain what it means, what's the difference, because everybody is old enough to comprehend what that
yeah,
means.
yeah,
Okay?
that's it's
Everybody knows.
disrespectful.
So when
Yeah,
the
it's
Chinese wasn't
disrespectful to
being
have to.
treated by America, they said Chinese lives matter, and everybody that was Chinese and everybody that wasn't Chinese was rooting for that. They didn't have a problem saying that.
Yeah, but you
Chinese
see,
lives matter.
Chinese have a
As soon
country.
as you say Black lives matter, there's racism, there's a problem. But
Yeah,
we
but
didn't even know
Chinese have a
nothing about
country.
being
That's
racist.
what you see. That's what Marcus was telling us. The Chinaman have a country. That means he could look at a nation, right? And he got a defense. He have a language. He have a God that looks like him. And as long as we continue to serve what our master served and believe what our master believe and eat what our master eat, then basically we are saying that we're aspiring to be that master. And that's what I tell a lot of my friends, that what a slave's number one aspiration is to be a master. And unfortunately, you look at the master. What did the master do to the slave? He enslaved him, beat him, killed him, and treated him like his life was nothing, and told him that his life was a nothing. And if
And he
you
believed
know,
that. And you got Black people believing in that today.
right, and you're treating your brother and sister that Father's Day, right? On Father's Day, I noticed that about 10 people died, 100 shot. The next weekend, 16 died, 40 something shot in Chicago. And we don't get up and get upset over these massacres, these atrocities. Little children, 2, 3 years old, are
I
getting killed,
know.
and we're not doing
That's,
anything. And
I
to
know
me,
you're not.
other people look at it and they diminish the value when we come out and try to, ask for justice and social justice, because we're not giving it to ourselves. And Marcus tell us that, a nation without a history of their past is going to be like trees, without roots, because if we don't remember where we're coming from, the brutality that has been given out to us, and it is our duty to show our brothers and sisters love so other people can learn from the respect that we're given. So it's difficult, especially even with the rich people, the rich American superstars. You notice a gentleman by the name of Colin Kaepernick. He did a simple gesture of kneeling, and they have whiteballed him out of a job. And the other black athletes that are multimillionaire haven't even stepped up to do anything.
Yeah, I know. Only a few did. Because
So
you got to think about it. A lot of them, it's still on coon patrol. A lot of them,
yeah, they're the one that's
looking
being
at the
used.
big money that the industry is paying them, and they're not trying to give up what they worked
No, they
hard
trying to
for.
lose that money.
Yeah, exactly. They're not trying to give up what they worked hard for all their life, and they finally got accepted into the NFL. And now, because Kaepernick said, "Let's take a knee," because America do this, America do that. A lot of people can't even embrace that. They don't want to embrace it. They figure, man, that happened already. That don't have nothing to do with us now, just because you don't know history. So you make those ignorant statements.
No, I
You know what
really,
I'm saying? So
I think that
Kaepernick,
that's that,
he
even
just
that
tried to
statement
wake
to
up
me.
people, and they
I think,
chose to stay sleeping.
yeah, I think a lot of them, a lot of these people just use ignorance as an excuse. Even that's why
Yeah, he do
there's
it on purpose because
yes,
people
that's
is no
why,
excuse to be ignorant. So many libraries and online resources for
yeah,
anybody to find out. You got
yeah, and
89-year-old women getting her GED at 89 or getting her
yes, because
bachelor's
he
at
wants to
79.
find out.
So come on now, you can't find out information if an 80-year-old could go and get a GED, a high school diploma, please.
But they don't want to because you see, when you're ignorant, now you could have a excuse. And the thing
Because
is this,
that's why I tell you, they like being like that because it's in their genes now. It's a
yeah,
part of their genetic makeup. So they
yeah,
don't know that they're sick. That's
yeah,
like a person with HIV/AIDS. They don't know they have it because they don't have no breakouts. They don't have no side effects or anything, but they got AIDS.
yeah.
That's what the traumatic slave syndrome is. That's a best example I can give it for those who's not familiar with that term, or you
Yeah,
think
but
you
they
had to
don't.
be a
They
personal
have to
slave.
be. If anyone with any kind of common sense, and I use the term common sense lightly because a lot of people think that common sense is like common. No, common sense is really complex sense. When you could put things together, you have to understand that your cell, like you said, your DNA, it's like a memory bank, and that's what they have us doing right now. These people have model machine, especially the computers, off of us, from the software that represent our immune system, then the hard drive that represents our brain and the memory and your stomach storage. They copy our body and they are manipulating system world like this. So what these people try to do is try to put from some of the most Willie Lynch enterprise or industries in the world are the ones that we have to use: the banks, the school, the church, the courts, and the hospital. Those are the five major Willie Lynch syndrome.
That's because we don't have our own, like Marcus Garvey was telling us. We're
Yes,
far behind Marcus times,
way.
even though he was in old times that we call it,
Yeah,
and we think we're in advanced times. When we compare, I know if I can personally compare myself to Marcus Garvey, I have no race. I
yeah,
have
we
no
backwards.
fight. I
We
have no
backwards.
punch in that fight. I have no leg in that race. And if I compare it to a lot of other people that's really doing things, but it just will never be compared to what we can't even fathom those levels anymore. We
And
can't
it's a
fathom
hundred
coming
years
together building
later.
pyramids. We can't fathom coming together getting a Black Star Liner. We
Yeah,
can't fathom coming together and having a newspaper in French, English, and Spanish like Marcus Garvey did.
yeah.
So people in Spain could read about him. People in France could read about him. All up in England and Germany or whatever.
And
If they
look
knew how
how
to speak
many,
French or
look
Spanish,
how
they could.
much
So we don't even
financial
have our own
resources.
newspaper. We don't even have a newspaper stand to
That's what I'm
represent
saying. Look
what
how
we're
much
talking about. More or
financial
less three
resources we have.
newspapers.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Okay, and all the jobs that he provided, and the Black
Right.
Star, the Black Cross nurses, and all those different things. Where
You see,
is
a lot
that?
of
We
people
don't have
don't
none of
even
that. We do a
realize that,
lot of talking.
a lot of
Yeah, we
people
do a
don't
lot of
realize
chit
that
chatting,
Marcos
but
had
we
over
don't.
500,000 nurse, officers,
I know.
Navy, or
We don't put our
Marines.
money together. That's why ain't nothing happening. They had unity back there, and we don't really have unity. We have selective unity, who we want to unify with. We can't unify as a collective because we let ideology and religion beliefs come between us. You see, back in Garvey times, he didn't care if you was a Methodist, a Catholic, a
Yeah.
Rastafari, Kemet, earth and gods. He
It
didn't
was
care.
one God,
If
one
your
race,
mission
one
was the same
purpose.
mission as his, and we got
Yeah.
the same problem, which is that impressor, they came together, and you can see it. They did it. It's evident that it happened, even in Haiti.
Yeah.
Okay, when Toussaint came
Avitur,
together,
yeah, and Desali,
okay,
yeah.
all those different tribes couldn't speak the same language. They all was coming from different parts of West Africa. You understand what I'm saying?
But they
Haiti
had
is like a
one
second
mission.
Africa of the West because you got all different tribes from the East Coast, West Coast, North and South there that's been transported to Haiti. Haiti was like the first islands to get slave ships coming in. Way before America, way before
Again,
any other real Caribbean island, Haiti was the first port. So
that's
you
why
got a
a lot
lot
of
of
them,
different tribes in Haiti back in
a lot,
those times speaking different languages. But they found a way to say, hey, let's put this the name who I call God name aside because it's different the way you call us. We're not going to argue about what
but it's the
name we
same
call God.
thing.
We know that God exists, and you might call him something else because of the geographic location that you come from. But we got
Right.
these French, the Spanish, and the English trying to take us and make us slaves forever.
How we gonna crush them? Let's come together. So they go in the swamps and the alligator swamps in the night, and they go meet and they do their voodoo ceremonies, and they lean on their ancestors for their guidance and their protection and their shield and armor. Okay, we can't even do that right now.
No, we're leaning on another man's God.
And
we're leaning on another man's God.
They all had different religion beliefs, just like we do right now. So what's the problem? That's because we will never ever compare Marcus, Malcolm, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King. Let's keep going, Frederick Douglass. Let's keep going.
But the same thing that we're going through here, the Willie, it's the same thing they use and pulled on Marcus, Malcolm, and Mark. It's like it's the same thing.
But
when Marcus got
pull them down, they didn't really pull him down because their name is still glorified. And Marcus Garvey, they didn't really pull him down when he got deported. Jamaica didn't treat him right for the second time. And
right, that's what I'm saying. But again, remember,
England, and they got chapters all over London. Okay.
Yes, but it's a black.
It's a black. Him a favor by making him leave here. He did his work in America.
It's a black man.
Stations like back home to Jamaica.
It's a black man though. The FBI J. Hoover used and infiltrate Marcus, and they didn't have nothing on Marcus. And even recently, Barack Obama came president. He could have pardoned Marcus. This is 100 years later. You know what I'm saying?
He could have pardoned Assata Shakur. But that's what black people get for thinking because we have a black president.
Is she still in Cuba?
All he did was feed off emotion because black people run with emotion. We operate off emotion.
Yeah, so we got to be logical.
Tapped into the emotion field, and he got the emotion frequency to be in sync with his frequency. It was a wrap. He can come and say whatever he want and don't do nothing.
Yeah, okay? Because he's a good talker. He's a good talker, man. But with the same, like I was saying, the Willie Lynch syndrome is not necessary. They don't have to do you much. A lot of times I notice that when you are having a conversation with my people, they really just argue with you to argue with you. Even when you're right. Even when you have proof and you show them documentation historically, they don't have any proof. You know what they do? They end up saying that, it's a white man wrote that. You can be reading up, you read too much. So it's like that is another thing that I can't stand with them. It's like it is illegal to be knowledgeable as far as a black person. They look at you and say that you're acting white. And I don't understand what they mean by that. But because it's black people, that was the father of medicine, father of technology, father of all kind of things, which is it's just shocking for my people. Just straight shocking. But it seemed like the screen got big on me, so I don't know if you cut anything. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you see, I'm Rastafari Soldier. I'm here speaking to my Empress. Yeah, do the knowledge. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We said do that knowledge radio. That's where we at. Remember to check me out on my YouTube, Deep Roots TV. Yeah, that's where I'm at most of the time, kicking some knowledge, reading the news, telling you what's going on, the current event. We're discussing the Willie Lynch syndrome here. Do that knowledge radio. I'm here with my Empress. As you notice down the bottom, say you could give us a donation, Bro, what's going on?
Raj, why go ahead?
Time being on me, huh?
Yeah, I had some connection issues. I think Empress having the same kind of connection issues. It's hurricane season, so they down there where the eye of the storm take place. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so my first time on this software here. Want to give thanks. Knowledge born, Ale. Yes, give thanks for having me on and do that knowledge radio. And we were discussing, the Willie Lynch syndrome here. Happy Marcus Day.
Right. Hey, that Willie Lynch syndrome is something serious. It definitely is, 100%. There's some back and forth with people in regards to the validity of the letter, saying, it wasn't written in the 1700s. It used this kind of English from now. I don't care about none of that. Can you track the behavior? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our ancestors told us stories all the time, whether they was factual or not. At the end, we got a lesson. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Did you get the
That's
lesson?
what the story is about.
Right.
The story is about the
Right.
lesson. It's not about regurgitating the exactly.
Right.
It's a story.
Right.
What did you get from it, you know?
That's real. And there's a lot of Willie lynching going on. Willie need to get lynched out here. You understand what I'm saying? So
I mean, that's the last person. You see, that's the last person they're gonna lynch. Willie himself.
Right.
Because again, Willie Lynch is this idea, you know. Just Willie Lynch is this idea, and it's an idea of a person. And for some reason, my people revere European. I think we have European as like the savior or something. And you know, just like the European cop had his knee on George Floyd's neck, that's the way Willie Lynch have had their knee on our people's neck. They call it the crab in a barrel syndrome, and it's a smart technique. You can't do. A lot of times you hear us talking like this. I'm not blaming the European man. I actually applaud the European man. I'm looking at us like, aren't we men? Don't you see the game that has been playing over and over and over? It's about to play out again on this election.
Right.
All right. Remember that story they talk about in Adam and Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are the two beautiful melanated skinned people. And then somebody got in the picture. They call them Satan. And then they have a child by the name of Cain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that right there now is another Willie Lynch story. It's about breaking up the household. The unification of the man, the melanated man and the melanated woman broken up. And now in today's day, the same story is being played out. Moms and dad break up, have multiple children, multiple moms and father or mother, and then siblings don't get along, fight each other, and go about their business. They don't really have a family, a tight-knit family. To me, that's what Willie Lynch is. Willie Lynch is about driving a wedge in between brothers, sisters, and husband and wife, you know, children, and, you know, basically once you make the whole family scattered, they're weak. You know, I was speaking to Empress a minute ago before she came offline, and we were talking about back in the days how great we were, how, you know, we had a unification where we had the power where we could build pyramids, we could build cities, we could do things overnight that when you come back and look at it, you think it's some magic or some, you know, divine creation because of we have strength in numbers. Now, no. You know, my grandma usually tell me, you know, hold your hand up like this. And when I do, she would grab my finger and bend it. And I was like, ah! And she'd be like, okay, put them together now. And then she would try to take my fingers apart and it would be real difficult. And she said, you see that? Together, you're like a fist. You're a weapon. You could break down any wall with this. But apart, you're weak and fragile. And I try to unite with the people a lot of the times, bro. But as you see, I have a vocabulary and I find myself to be a leader. I'm an Aquarius. I'm a firstborn. I'm an only son. So, you know, I've been in leadership position. I've been in the military, believe it or not, sergeant, honorable discharge, top security clearance, been in college, been over the world. But I've seemed to be a real enemy of my people because I'm a baby Marcus. I'm a baby Malcolm. I'm a baby X. You know, that's me. I believe that, you know, having a purpose in life, living a purposeful life is the most rewardful thing. And I don't think my people have thought about the purpose of their life and while they're living it, other than to catch a ball or to throw a ball through a hoop. You know, our people, as far as black men, we love to play with balls. And our moms and our parents raise us up years, 20, 15 years playing with balls. And if they would just have us put our head in the book and do medical work, engineering work, computer scientists, agricultural work, buildings, manufacture, these are the things that Marcus told us 100 years ago. Right. And if you come full fold now, brother, and check it, we're lowest in engineering, we're not in agriculture. These kids don't even know how to plant a bean. You know?
Right.
If Publix close up in my neighborhood for 2 weeks, we starve. If these Middle East Arabian guys that's in our community and Chinese people that's raping our communities with the overpriced products, close their community, their corner stores for a week, it'd be chaos in black neighborhoods. And it's unbelievable. I've been to a lot of black neighborhoods, like whether from Atlanta, New York, South Carolina, because I used to be in South Carolina, Virginia, Louisiana, New Orleans, Florida. Military brought me around the place. And what I noticed, brother, when black men own business, they get murdered by little black boys. Black men own business and they get killed by their own people. And then a little Chinese lady or a little Indian fragile old dude can go into the baddest ghetto and open up a store and stay there for 25, 30 years and survive. And their kids grow up and take over. So it appears again, it's another syndrome there now. Because when you own a business, you're financially stable. And when you have a job, that brings freedom. And Marcus said that. Government don't give people freedom. Jobs give people freedom. So jobs give you freedom. So if you have a Chinese person or an Indian person living in a neighborhood for 15, 20 years, occupying that and taking all your money out, and I'm sure they don't live in your community, you're actually basically you're agreeing with the raping of the finance of your community. And when we now try to make something in our community, we get wiped out or we get robbed and nobody see nothing. And when you call the police tell you to go downtown and file a report with the state attorney. And I'm like, what? But when it's a European business, you run the camera and the police go looking for people and say, oh, I know him, and go lock him up from underneath his bed. I don't know how it happened, but it appears that we don't get justice, bro. We don't get justice. In my community, most years it's 19 to 20 unsolved murders. And everybody in the street know who did it. And that's a shame. It's a shame. But did we get the Empress back on the phone now? On the line?
Yeah, she back.
Yeah, you were speaking, so I was letting you, y'all was talking. I let you finish speak.
Okay, Empress. Yeah, I was here wondering, where you went, but I'm glad, Knowledge Born Ali came in and everything is great.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that whirlwind swept her up out there. She in that Marcus Garvey whirlwind. He said, look for me in the whirlwind and in the storm. You see what I'm saying? So that whirlwind got her up in there.
Well, I know she's going to be all right, because Garvey know who he coming back for. Garvey know. She just going to be sitting up in the eye of the storm, just chilling, and get let down easy, like, that Allstate hand, just like that. If Garvey putting her down.
Yeah, exactly. Let me down easy.
Easy. But I'm noticing in the news, a lot of the things that were going on last month kind of coming to an end, and I kind of thought so. Once they start this NBA playoffs come back on, we get occupied again.
That's it.
I say we are, and it finally clicked to me earlier this year too. Because they had this closed down and everything was off. The people didn't have no distraction. See what I'm saying? So after a while, they say, man, what the heck? We going outside. So for some reason, these guys always seems to be ahead of us, bro. They did it back in 2001, and now they're ahead of us again on this one. So, if we don't open up our eyes, like Marcus says, like Martin Luther have done. I'm listening to the speech Martin Luther King. I thought the I Have a Dream speech was Martin Luther King's best speech. But if you haven't, I like the one that he was saying, the other America, where he spoke about the desolation and the destitute in the ghetto, in the black neighborhood, the hope that has been driven from the mind and the hearts of the people. the other America, the economy that is being used as a tool to suppress the people and to enslave the people on, 9 to 5s and to distract them. One day I wake up one day, bro, and I was 40 something. And I'm like, what the, you know what I've been doing? And I could name over 15 jobs that I've been on, including the military, and it appears that it's the same old thing. So a lot of times, I see a lot of, vloggers like you, myself on YouTube. It's like we're trying to take the reins in our own hand, trying to direct our own, life and content to try to create some kind of knowledge base for our people. Because I noticed that it's, hey, watch me do it, and it's just straight Hellenism we're dealing with. We gravitated to Hellenism as if, wow. When I look at how we act and how we look, from the tattoos to the lewd and lascivious lyrics to the nakedness, well, they got us. They got us right with this. They told us what we were. And we have become that. It's unbelievable. Seems like we've not lost the brother.
No, I think maybe he just minimized his screen.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't touch the mouse because this is the first time I'm using this, and this is a nice software. I'm probably gonna try to use it myself. It's pretty easy.
What, the StreamYard?
Yes, I've never used it.
Yeah, it looks like a good platform.
I'm sorry?
It seems like a good platform.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that, you could interact with somebody else. That's what I'm kind of missing on Deep Roots TV. I really, and it's not giving me much glitch. So, that's pretty good. But I'm looking through Tony Martin's book, Race First, with you have some things in here on the way that, the same Willie Lynch, the way that we act amongst each other. And I don't know if it's just a disdain, hatred.
Well, you see what Foot to Hype said about Rastafari. That's part of the Willie Lynch syndrome. That's part of the always trying to keep your brother and sister down.
And to me, that's exactly what it is.
It's a conditioning. He's conditioned. You could tell by his demeanor. You could tell the way he speaks. He's conditioned. He's already sick. There's no turning around him.
Yeah, he sound angry. I mean, angry.
He's gone. He is gone. He needs to stay off social media because it's beyond you just complaining about some rosters that you see ain't moving right. It's beyond that. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like he hates Rastafari.
Yeah, he does.
He hates with a passion. He speaks like he hates. And I know he hates Rastafari because he said out of his own mouth that every Rasta in Jamaica is fake.
Yeah.
When we already know that that's not mathematically correct because it can't possibly be every Rasta that's on the island of Jamaica is fake because he haven't even met every last one of them. Because if he did, he wouldn't even.
He probably haven't met 10 Rasta. He probably haven't met 10. He think that somebody with locks on their hair are Rasta. That's what he think. And that's
he haven't came across real Rastas. So that's why he says from his experience that there's no real Rastas in Jamaica. But he still shouldn't say that.
Because where he go
in Jamaica are fake. He has to identify what he's talking about, and then he has to go into detail why he says what he says. Who are you speaking of? Because we already know the fact that every Rasta in Jamaica is fake is not true. We already know that's not the truth. So now we move on to the next problem that he has. That the way Rastafari move. Okay, he is right in certain areas. We do need a lot of cleaning up. And I feel like him coming out the way he came out is probably like a wake-up call for us to get our act together. Because sometimes when the outsiders come in and tell you to get your act together, you seem to listen and you seem to want to react. But if we tell each other that Rastafari is failing, we want to burn one another out, and then we still walk away and don't get nothing accomplished.
Right. So it just becomes an argument.
On a balance. I look at what Footer said as a balance, but his intentions wasn't the way I just spoke it out. His intentions were something else. But if I hear right, I have to admit that I hear right. I'm not gonna lie to myself.
I do agree with him that some are not doing certain things, especially some that are in position where they could have done the correct things. But the eyes them have to understand that yes, slavery is abolished, but after slavery, even up to 1963, the first prime minister gave an order out to bring in Rasta. So even those ideologies still lives in Jamaica because the government cite Rasta wrong. A lot of that is like that law is that order is still out. People
and
do
that
not
ideology spread all the way to America, because back in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, probably up to the early part of the 90s, Rastafari in New York particular used to get a fight with the police.
Yes, they used to get dragged, beat, all kind of stuff, and get locked up and arrested.
In the middle of Brooklyn Street, okay? Right down Flatbush Avenue, wherever you there. If they want to cut your locks off right there, they're going to do it. So that plan didn't just penetrate Jamaica. It said get every Rasta on the planet. Do that to every Rasta on the planet, because it sure spread here to America.
Because you see, Rasta is the one that is always fighting against Babylon from day one. Even the imagery or the person that they talk about, Samson, Jesus, Moses, these are bearded, long hair African ideas that they come try and Europeanize. So that's what Babylon themselves are, people that try to downpress melanated people, never liked Rasta, don't like Rasta. And what they have done is they have taken a lot of people you see around here that doesn't look like Rasta, that maybe are more Rasta than some people with hair on their head, and they have cut their culture. They have cut their roots. And when you cut a plant's root, it died. And that whole idea of the rebellious melanated man that's looking for righteousness and positivity for his nation and calling on his country, his God, his divinity, they trying to stomp that out of every melanated man and woman, and thus teach some of our own brothers and sisters door habit and how to cut the roots of our too. Because a lot of the times when a person see you doing certain things that they don't understand, like back in the days, you will have like the Muslim or the Middle East people walking around with their head wrapped up like Rasta or the veil over their face. Now everybody, and they was like look at them like they were terrorists or something wrong with them. Now everybody walks around in the country like now with mask on their face. So how come nobody is worried about that? Exactly. So it's like what they don't understand, they fight against. And Rasta try to keep a Ethiopian, African, melanated mentality and philosophy. And that's what Marcus Garvey is about. That's what Willie Lynch is not about. That's what Babylon is not about. Babylon is about stripping away the melanation from your skin texture to your hair texture, the kinkiness in your hair, to the idea of your country, to even the way of showing love and living life amongst your family. Because even when I hear, like I said, foot time I talk about, certain homosexual talks and stuff, I'm trying to figure out, when did Rasta pick up that as their number one job in the world? To be talking about homosexual. Usually people who work on guns talk about guns. People who party talk about party. People who fish talk about fish. And Rasta man don't want to be talking about all that. When we did that in the 90s and the 2000s, you know what they get, Buju? Locked up. And they expect us to continue to be stupid. You're going to beat your head against a wall and you're going to hurt and you're going to do it again. Now that Buju got out and went on a world tour and everybody come and he do song, and because they said I guess they want Buju to open up a school and free black people. And a lot of times, them press tell the truth, black people don't want to be. You see Dr. Umar Johnson, how many years he's been begging for donation to open up the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey the Truth and Harriet Tubman School?
You see what I'm talking about? We could never match Marcus Garvey.
And look how much
happened, not in our lifetime, maybe in our grandchildren's
lifetime. No. I think he finally got the 7 million. It's been about almost 8 to 10 years.
Talk about Dr. Umar not doing
it. Yeah.
Matching it. But even in his situation, he's not matching them because Like you said, look at the fight that he's been through all the years.
Yeah, they even
I'm
sued
not
him.
saying Marcus Garvey didn't go through a fight either, but he accomplished so much in so much trying times. And
Yeah, he's the
racist,
greatest,
high
man.
racist
Marcus is the
times
greatest.
that you can't even fathom how he could have possibly accomplished all of that in those trying times. And we don't really have those type of trying times that we think we have.
And we and we have
even organized enough to even get, like you said, to school. You should have seen people
just
from
in the
everywhere
NBA
jumping on
alone.
Umar. People from everywhere should have been jumping on Umar's boat to come help him with that school.
Long time. Just in the NBA
Should
alone.
have been coming from every angle. You don't have to just be an African and American to help. You could be from Ghana. You could be from a Caribbean. You could be from Japan. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, to me, Empress, we don't value our things as much as the other people. And just let somebody come over your house and see. They might be in a better living situation than you. They live with a husband and have 2 cars and live uptown. And let them come over and see you doing something special or different and something that you're content. They want what you got. And that's what's the problem with us. And that's what Europeans realize. That make them a user. Give them some jinglings. Make a little video and put some girls doing some little turculation in it. And make a nice shiny rim car driving by with some chains that he done rented on it. And we run after those things. Our heroes and our representative. This is the only nation I see. Our representatives and our heroes are like basketball players, our spokesmen. They're actors, they're comedians. Don't know white people or Chinese people have those people as no representative. They get serious people, professionals, doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists. You understand?
Yeah.
We have LeBron James and Oprah. Oprah is a talk show host. Come on. What the heck? Harry Belafonte, he's a musician that's married to a half-white girl. So they take us for comics. They take us for clowns. And we love clowning. We like it.
Yeah. We like to clown each other, for real.
Yes,
we clown ourselves, we clown each other.
Yes. I mean, we're not clowning. The only one white melanated dude I see on the internet clown white folks is Noah. And his shit be like 2 million, 3 million views. You know, and I look at him, I'm looking at him like, bruh, you remind me of some, you know, like your grandfather was white or something. Straight up. You know, and when they do their stuff there, you can see that they're Democrats. And I don't understand why they are. And I actually do. Because you see, Republican is a republic, got law. Democrat, you can get away with shit. You could buy a whole bunch of homes that you know you're not qualified for, so you could create a housing crisis. You could make homosexuality legal, so you could have a morality issue. You could do all that stuff, and black folks like that. Because they think that's being free. When you get housing and EBT, the only time that you can live in the world free is when you're a slave. I'm going to repeat that again. The only time you can live in the world free is when you're a slave. You understand? Because the master pay for your house. The master pay for your food. The master pay for where you live, eat, your clothes. The master is responsible for you if you get sick, because his worker is not available. So in life, if you expect to live free or you want freedom, you're an idiot. Freedom was never been given. It's been earned. And we have earned it. But guess what? We don't want it. We don't want to be free. We want to be master. We don't matter where the white folks run, we run right up onto their foot bottom. Yeah. Look how many Americans in America. How many help Akon? Akon come to America and he building a city in Africa. Look how many Americans in America. If Stevie Wonder, motherfuckers like that, get up and leave. We don't help Africa, but China will. Europe will. Germany will. And Marcus said it. It's us, the people in the West, has the duty to gain the knowledge and the know-how and bring it back to Africa. We ain't going back there.
And Haile Selassie said that. Haile Selassie said it too.
Exactly. We're the one that's supposed to. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. This is Haile Selassie. We're the one that's supposed to come here and get the knowledge. and go back and teach our people how to become. And a lot of people think that Africa is some bushland, like some place of bush. They don't know that there's big cities, and some of the biggest cities are in Africa.
I know. I went to Africa. I went to Ghana in 2012, and there's certain neighborhoods you can't even live there because you need to be making at least $300,000 to live in that particular community.
Wow.
Right? They got gated communities like we have gated communities. Please, in South Africa, they got a 12-story mall, and they have Ferrari
Driving
cars
around.
as the
Yeah.
sponsor. Okay, so Africa's been well developed. They just show us the underdeveloped parts, so we won't go. But when you go on the airplane to Africa, all you see is Europeans going to Africa. We're the only ones trying to find excuses not to take that tribe.
Wow. Yeah, because
we have the money. Even when we have the money, we find
if we have the money, we're going to Europe, or we're going to a European country. You know what I'm saying?
We're not going to a European country. We're leaving from one plantation to the next. We might leave Jamaica and come to America. We might leave America and go stay somewhere in the Caribbean. It's still a plantation.
Still a plantation.
We're leaving one plantation to the next. Africa is the theme. Marcus Garvey said it. Haile Selassie said it. We seem to be forgetting that. I hear a lot of Rasta people say, yeah, I'm going back to Haiti. I'm going back to Trinidad. I'm going back to Jamaica. I'm saving money to go back to St. Kitts or the Virgin Islands. And I'm saying, well, damn, you supposed to be talking about, I thought we were supposed to be talking about going back to Africa.
But it's the same game that's being played.
Caribbean.
Yeah, it's the same game that's being played. The thing is that we're thinking that we're emancipating ourselves by going to another plantation and helping them building that other plantation. It's like moving from one neighborhood to another. You're building your community.
I don't hear one time say I'm getting me a passport. I'm going to go visit Tanzania or Tanzania. Or I'm going to go visit Ethiopia. I'm going to go visit Mali. I don't hear those conversations a lot. I really don't.
I'm telling you, a lot of Jamaicans.
I feel like Rastafari should be the main ones. We should be the main ones having those conversations because we're supposed to be the defender, the champion of humans. We're supposed to be the humanitarians, okay?
And if we don't get back to Africa, then by the time
human rights, we're supposed to be pushing the champion of human rights agenda. We're supposed to be pushing reparations and repatriation.
This is the issue to me, that I don't think that people don't talk about humans. People talk about black people, Americans, African Americans, Jamaicans. People don't talk about humans because when you talk about humans, then you'll talk about everybody. You understand? But they don't talk about humans. They talk about gay rights. They talk about black rights. They talk about female rights. They talk about children rights. They talk about immigration rights. And that is another technique, again, to separate people. Just like in these times, this pandemic here, it's a technique, again, to separate people, isolate people. Now I got to put what me and you are conversating through this software, and the owner is already the owner of the software or the platform, which is YouTube or whoever, gets my information. And this is not our vlog anymore. Once it's on YouTube, it's now YouTube's vlog. They got our content and they can delete it, block it, do whatever they want to. You understand? So there's no reason why we don't have Black Facebook and why it's not as possible. Why it's not as popular.
They have one called Black Junction and it's another one I forgot. Oh boy, Black Junction is the next one.
Yeah, but those are things that we should be advertising in our rap songs. You understand?
Oh.
Talk about black this, black own. But instead, we're on Facebook.
Have Black Facebook, but nobody wants to go to the Black Facebook. Everybody stays on the white Facebook. Even when
because
you advertise it on Facebook and say, hey, you can go to Black Junction. It's just like Facebook, blah, blah, blah. People will click like on it. Okay? They might go in and create an account, but they're still on the Facebook. So,
because they
like I said, we're never going to be like, we see how Marcus had it planned out. We're not organized and united enough for that. It's just not going to happen.
Oh my God, it's a shame.
Lifetime. It's not happening in our lifetime, is what I mean.
It's true, but it's a shame, right? It's a true,
but it's a shame. When I say it's not going to happen literally and they get all caught up in their fluffy feelings. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. Maybe my grandchildren will witness that. something like Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, and the only way that your children gonna witness that if they take this idea of this separate thing. They got to do. I think that Facebook and these things are successful not because they didn't do it just for white. They did it for everybody.
They did it for everybody, exactly.
Right. So you make people.
That's why it's working, because they're not being racist about
right.
it.
So when they come up and say black Facebook,
and money come between. They're not letting racism come between their money.
They're money. Okay.
So even if they are racist, you ain't gonna know it because they catering to everybody.
As long as you spend it, that's what I was telling my friends. Say, yo, yeah, I'm doing my business. I don't care if me and you don't talk. As long as you come with your money out, I'm taking your money. Have a nice day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to refuse you because me and you had a spat. No, then the other people that's looking that don't have money today that might purchase from me tomorrow is going to say, oh, I'm not going to spend my money with him because I see how he dealt with that person. I don't want him to deal with me like that. So what we do, like you hit the nail on the head a minute ago. We get caught up in our feelings too much. I think you was talking about, Barack Obama, how when he made his speech and he had us in our emotions and he could have said whatever.
Because black people are full of emotion, looking for the hype. He took all his emotion and came on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube and put his own kind under the bus. So now
I'm wondering, don't they think
looking at that and they're saying, "Dag, these niggas can't never get it together." Look at this in Rastafari, and he Jamaican, and he's saying ain't no Rastas in Jamaica real. I ain't going back to Jamaica no more because
you get it. And everybody,
the people tried to rob me, so he might be right. Those Rastas probably ain't real. So now he don't realize the trickle effect.
And everybody over the world.
By saying that.
Everybody over the world, to me, that have locks, have an idea who Bob Marley is. I have an idea where Bob Marley come from.
Butter is fake, and Bob Marley doesn't even represent the locks, just the locks and Rastafari. He's just
when we're talking about Rastafari,
he's just a piece of the big pie. You know what I'm saying? So the white people will go follow Bob because he got white in him, so they'll feel comfortable following him.
What Bob Marley did was he publicized, he commercialized Rastafari. You know what I'm saying? That's all he did was commercialize it. And again, the same thing again. The gratification because he have the white in him. And not only, I can't blame white people for that because they see a talent and they helped him. They picked him up. They went to they listened to the message. We tried to shoot, but we shot Bob Marley.
Yeah, I know. And I remember him saying that the neighbors didn't even want his children playing with their children because the children had locks and they were Rasta. You see, black people, you think that would have happened amongst Chinese people?
And look at Ziggy. Why you think Ziggy Marley act like that? Why you think Ziggy don't do Ziggy tell you he's not black? Ziggy will tell you.
Yeah, because he's with the Neanderthal, so his DNA is already switched over. Okay,
it's not even Ziggy know the hurt.
Mix some more, so he already mixed. So all he gotta do is go mix some more, and he's gonna be mixed up. That's why he talks the way he talks.
His children gonna get lighter and lighter and lighter.
His mother is black as night. He should be looking for a woman that look like his mama, but he not.
No, but you see, a lot of people doesn't. A lot of people don't.
A lot about what was put in his head coming up as a child.
No, you don't have to put it in your head. Listen, a lot of black men do not like black women, and a lot of black women do not like black men. That is number one, Willie Lynch. Trust me, because you see, back in the days, remember, the master used to come and.
Biggie got the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? So the master used to come and beat the biggest strong black man in front of the black woman. So the black woman say, "Oh, he pussy, he punk, he weak, he can't defend me." Exactly, Bob Marley have it. Look who Bob Marley have kids with. You don't see that? It's all like white girls.
And just I know, pure white.
It's all white girls. You from Jamaica. And most of your girls are white girls. The moms, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I don't think he had any kids with no real Jamaican because even Rita Marley's not from Jamaica. I think Rita Marley is Cuban.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's just nationality anyway. Her ethnic background is an African.
Man, you're
All
not
of the
understanding.
Jamaicans,
Yeah, no,
African
you're not
Americans,
understanding what I'm
Trinidad,
saying.
all of
You
that's
see,
nationality. You know what I'm saying? So she's not Jamaican. Okay, that's fine. You know what I
what
mean?
I'm saying is you're not understanding. You see, when a Jamaican is with a Haitian woman or a Cuban woman or something else, the woman usually keeps the faith. I just you don't understand what I'm saying. In the history of time, Henry Morgan and all the pirates used to go to Jamaica. Jamaica is a slaughterhouse. Jamaica is a whorehouse. They used to take all the bad slaves that was rebellious and bring down there. And that's the offspring that we have. And because we're wicked and violent and vulgar, people fear us. And they think that that's respect.
Yeah,
Fear.
I know, because there's some. My grandfather is from Jamaica. My
You
children's
understand?
father is from
Fear us.
Jamaica,
And we think that is
and
respect.
there's
Jamaica.
some Jamaicans that I just rather not be bothered with. I just can't take their mentality. I can't take the destructive ego. I can't
Yeah,
take the
where
level of
Willie Lynch
ignorance.
come from? That's Willie Lynch. That's straight. Willie Lynch
Yeah,
is
no, that's what I was getting. That's what I was getting to. So once I realized that they're suffering from that Willie Lynch syndrome, I just have to leave them where they at. You see,
yeah.
like Foot to Hype, he's sick, and I contacted him. This is what I was going to say before it slipped my mind. I contacted him on Instagram, and I haven't heard from him yet. He's supposed to be letting me know when I can come on his platform so we can further address the Rastafari situation that he was
He's not going.
and he never replied back to me. I invited him to come on this very platform that you're on, and he said no, but you can come on mine. Matter of fact, let me read it so the listeners that's listening can know that
It's real.
Rastafari did reach out, women in particular reached out. You understand me?
Yeah.
Because when the brethren tried to reach out to him, he said, "Don't call me. Go on your social media and reply." So that just goes to show you he's on a puppet show vibration.
Yeah, he just want to comment or a text or a like or a thumbs up, and that's what they're on.
Yeah, so I said, "Greetings. I hope all is well with you." I said, "I am Rastafari, and recently I heard your experience with Rastafari. You mentioned Rastafari should speak up, etc. Can I invite you on a live stream to further advance in the conversation? Blessed love." So he says no, but you can always join mine. And I said, "When is yours, please?" He said, "Not sure yet." I said, "Bless, keep me posted. Much thanks." And he said, "Okay, so you're not sure yet, but you was just on YouTube probably a day before I sent that message running off your mouth."
Yeah, but you gotta understand. I don't even know if it's
Rastafari stepping up. Ain't nobody from Rastafari stepping up and speaking up. And now when somebody do, you don't want to address it. And it's a woman coming at you. It ain't the brethren. Yeah. It's a woman coming at you. So I just said he's sick. That's the syndrome. That's the sickness that I'm talking about.
Yeah, half of the time though, when you see him on YouTube, I don't even think it's his platform. It's just like they record they record it on Facebook or something, or somebody WhatsApp it, and then people just post it. So there's certain people like gutter stuff, like they would say in America. They love gutter stuff, and that's what
right.
A lot of
so I'll just send him this live stream so he can listen and hear what we had to say about him. Because see, I don't have time for the child's play that he's on. You know what I'm saying?
No, but you see, a lot of us we're not into building up.
Shut up. Get real.
Yeah, we got to build up each other now, man. We got to stop breaking down. It's reggae music that Rastaman basically created. Dancehall come off of reggae, and that's how he survived. He get paid from playing reggae and dancehall music, and he's talking about Rastaman, the person that created a product that you're eating off of. This is unbelievable. Of all the people though in Jamaica for you to pick on, the people them that has been from, if you say Jamaica, name a kind of person out of Jamaica, you go say Rastaman. That's what Jamaica is known for.
You know what? Because I was waiting for him. I said, okay, so now he went in on Rastafari. Let me hear what he's gonna say about the fake pastor in Jamaica. Let me hear what he's gonna say about the fake churches in Jamaica. I want to see him, exemplify that same amount of pressure and anger that he did when he was talking about Rastafari.
No, man, him can't do that because
only thing he said about Christianity and Rastafari.
No, you're crazy. They would block him off the internet. They take him off the internet.
The only thing he could say as far as Christianity is concerned is that Rastafari turned Christian now.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they don't know. But I don't know.
He's not talking about the churches that's misleading the people.
No, he just don't say what Rastafari is doing.
Because there's a lot of that running around in Jamaica.
No, the thing is this, Empress. You see,
Americas.
a lot of bullies like to pick on the person that's not gonna fight back. Okay, and like I told you, in 1963, the first prime minister came up with this thing about bringing in Rastafari just because some people that had beard and tall hair had burned down a little gas station. It wasn't a Rasta community that did it, you know, but they said bring in all Rasta. And from I'm born in Jamaica, and I'm letting you know, anybody out there that hear that disagree, you'll not leave your comment. You know, Jamaicans do not care for Rasta. You'll hear them make some comment. Oh, my brother is Rasta, just like a European would say. Oh, my best friend is black. You understand? Or I got a lot of friends that's black. Yeah, but that's that. Once you hear somebody say that, you know they're racist. Okay, you don't need to prove to me that you have friends. That just because you got friends, that you're just trying to have that as a trump card to have an excuse. And when a person says, "Oh, I have family," if you say that to any Jamaican, the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, my brother is Rasta," or "My son is Rasta," and then you ask them, "What kind of relation? When's the last time you spoke to him?" Because that brother or son and that Jamaican have no relationship. Matter of fact, he's probably living in another country, another state, because you have ridiculed him so much.
And that's what I'm saying about Foot to Hype. He can't possibly know every Jamaican in Jamaica is fake, because if he met every Jamaican on the island of Jamaica, he would have came across some righteous ones. And he would know that the ones that he see in the music industry are fake and they wolves. And he wouldn't even need to spend none of his breath on trying to bash nothing about Rastafari, because he will know better. Okay, I see it all the time. The fake ones and the real ones. I'm not on social media every time I see a fake one doing things that they know they shouldn't be doing. I'm on social media blasting them out. You think the rest of that's don't know he backsliding? You think the rest of that's backsliding don't know he backsliding? You think he don't know
sometimes guess what?
He should not? You think
sometimes
he don't know that he shouldn't be living folly the way he living? You think he don't know that? Of course he knows that. Before he got into this liberty, he knew he had to leave the old behind to start off anew.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's supposed to be brand new again when you leave that unconscious world into a conscious world. All right, so they already know. He's talking to grown people. He's talking about grown people, not children. These are grown people.
That's what I'm wondering.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to go address those people.
Or go address some kids, because at the end of the day, what he's saying is like Rasta fear burnout, like gays, and I'm like, in 2020. Do you understand that?
First of all, he should already know, because he lives in America. So he's supposed to already know if any Rasta, not even just in America, but any Rasta disrespect anybody that's gay anywhere worldwide, you could go to jail. All right.
No, what they're trying to say, what they're trying to do.
No lesbian. Okay.
Yeah, but what they're trying to say.
With a woman, I don't care who she lay with in the night. Just don't bring that ideology to me. Don't try to convince me that it's balanced and it's righteous. I don't care.
No, what they want you to do as a Rasta is go out there.
So it's a thing that Rasta getting ready to go out there and start mashing up all lesbian and faggots. That's not going to happen.
That's what they're acting like. That's Rasta's duty. That's Rasta's job. And I'm looking at them like, okay.
No, it's not Rasta duty.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not Rasta duty. Rasta
Why he don't go
organizing, centralizing, and mobilizing. Rasta needs to be talking about repatriation. Rasta need to be fighting for reparation. Rasta need to be taking up political roles. That's why Emmanuel said he wanted 7 priests. 7 lawyer priests.
If we take up a political role.
7 lawyer priests. You think any of those bobos that knew Emmanuel wanted 7 lawyer priests? You think any of them went to law school yet? No.
Then that's what I'm saying. Because guess why? You know, one of the reasons why it doesn't, because
passing the cut, Rasta's beyond that.
Right, but the thing is this, one of the reasons why
Rasta's beyond that. We take a lot of positions. Little do Foot to know.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's what they want Rasta to do. They want Rasta to go out there and push their head out in our buckle and go sacrifice like they Jesus Christ, and then they laugh, and then they have something to go on social media and vlog about and get a lot of views and make it look like they're doing something. They're not the star. Rastafari is the star. And what they eat, and they hear it, Ra star, and they know who Ra is. You see, Rastafari is intellectually inclined. When you take most Rasta, mother and father are doctors and teachers and nurses listen, preachers, we're intellectually inclined, and they think that because the way we look, we're idiots. And they actually think that them can come.
I know that's the sister that got PhDs, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They think they can motivate us to go throw away our lives in a modern time.
Footer's lost. Long time he's been lost. If he think that all Rasta do is drink alcohol, like he said,
I'm on fire.
Go with Bati Boy, like he said,
yeah,
and live dirty, like he said. If
no,
he
but
think that's all Rasta represent, then like I said, he really haven't sat around the righteous ones. Because if he did, he will know the real from the fake, and he wouldn't have to exhaust his energy.
Don't have to
burn nobody out, because he will already know those are the fake ones, because there's good and bad in everything you're dealing with. And somebody tried to challenge me on that, and I just had to come back with him and was like, listen, I'm talking about polarity. I'm talking about light and dark, up and down, left and right, man and women. I'm talking about polarity. So when I say that there's good and bad in everything, there's good presidents, there's bad presidents. There's good doctors, there's bad doctors. There's good teachers, there's bad teachers. There's good children, and you have your bad children. There's good grandmas, you got bad grandmas. That's what I mean by that. When I was saying the polarity thing to the man, he's trying to make it look like I want to make Rasta be bad all the time. That's not what I'm saying. You don't even understand balance, because if he did understood balance, he wouldn't be able to come back with that ridiculous comment. You know what I'm trying to say? But then he like, yeah, I see where she's going with that, and she's right. Then Footer do got some things he say is right. I'm not gonna say everything he said was wrong, because he did say some things that I be saying. He
said something that was right, but I didn't even have any problem with none of what he was saying. It's just how he was saying it.
About it. He was so angry about it, and he said he wasn't going to mention nobody's name, but yet you running your mouth like a little sissy.
Almost an hour.
Who you talking about? He said he ain't going to mention no name. So why you not mention name? You could be, I don't know who you talking about. You could be talking about Sizzler. You could be talking about Cableton. When I don't know who you talking about. So that's why
he's talking about Buju. I feel like he's talking about Buju, because Buju had that coke situation, and him they have boom bye bye.
He made a comment on him as well. He made comments on Sizzler.
But at the end of the day, I'm telling you, watch and see.
I don't really care about all of that.
No, but
he already know that long time Sizzler needs to find his way back.
Okay,
people go astray. People lose focus. People lose focus. But let me tell you something.
You're a human being.
He got money, so he can clean up his act anytime he's ready.
Yeah, you're a human being. Sometimes you're walking forward, and sometimes you have to step backwards a couple times. Trust me.
You wonder how the hell you got on your behind. Exactly.
All right.
So I'm not about to dwell on what a one need to start doing and blah, 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 because it looked like Footer got a lot of cleaning up to do in his backyard. And if he really got a problem with a particular roster, I personally feel if he's ever going to hear, if he ever listens to this live stream or somebody tell him what I just said, I personally feel you need to go to that particular roster that you see slacking, and you need to pull them to the side, man to man, and say, roster don't live like this. You making real rosters look bad. This is not what roster represents. Since he know and said out his mouth what roster's supposed to be like, right? Then you're supposed to be waking them up, because some people don't know. They need somebody to pull them by their little coattail and say,
but why don't just rock?
My brother, you're not living the right way. But if you can't come to me and straighten me up when I'm down, but you're going to kick me more down when I'm down, he's the type of person that'll be sitting right up under Trump.
Definitely. He's a big betrayer.
You get what I'm trying to say? So I can't trust you, because you know who pissed you off, and you don't want to call their name, and you don't want to step to them face to face, but you want to sit on social media, put everybody in one basket.
I don't believe Footer Hype was pissed off by anyone. I think Footer Hype is sharing with him what a lot of Black people, not just Jamaicans, feel about Rasta. Even if you don't have what they would call, I don't know what it is, they call a real Rasta. If I see you growing your locks, that itself is showing me that you're growing. Your antennas are growing. You're picking up bravery. You're saying, wait, why all of my women and men have fake hair, permed out hair, wearing weave, and hair balled off? Why the only thing that a Black man can own in America as a business and survive is a barbershop that takes off a Black person hair, when everyone know that your hair is your number one beauty? Why? So anything that destroys melanin or Ethiopianness, Africanness, it's okay. And as long as you're talking bad about the melanin, destroying the melanin, talking bad about black people, the religion, whatever, it's okay. And I don't think it's just a footer hype issue. I think it's a nation issue. And we go back to the Willie Lynch syndrome. I think it's a self-hatred where we've been told that we were empty. We needed to be Europeanized, Christianized, educated, made bright because we're dark, docile, and dead. And we believed it. And we got filled up, not with the light. We got filled up with those dark ideas that we were evil, that we were no good, that our big nose were ugly, that our thick lips were ugly, that our kinky hair was ugly, that our melanated skin was a sin from son looking at another man when he was naked. All these things are being taught in one of the Willie Lynch College, the Willie Lynch University, which is called the Christian Church. It's being taught out of the scripture by your preacher to you and by your grandmother and mother and father that's reading it back to you. And this has been going on. I'm not a big church goer. My grandma was, so when I was small, I was forced to go. So that's how I remember this feeling. I actually believed it. I actually believe that my skin had got dark because...
Because what?
You don't know the scripture where they said the son came in and, you know, his father was drunk and he looked at his father's nakedness and his skin. That's why we are black. That's what the scripture tell you. So I used to believe it. And a lot of black people pinch their nose for their nose to grow skinny. You know that?
I know. They wish they had lighter skin too.
And what do you mean? Which Jamaica is a pandemic. It's a pandemic in Jamaica. Even in Africa.
Came down and said, "Do you want to be a white man or a white woman? Tell me who."
Man, the whole world will turn white on.
The way you are, or you want to be a white man or a white woman? They'll say, "I want to be white."
Hey, but when a person like Vibes Cartel or even Tommy Lee and a lot of these Jamaican artists and Sammy Social,
They look so silly.
when they bleach this, they look like they got curry on their face. And the thing is this, other black people are seeing them. And before they say, man, you look ridiculous. You're like a monster. Guess what they do? They go the next day, go buy the bleaching compound to try to look like them too, because they realize, oh, this guy's looking lighter. He's getting white. Oh, I want to be white too. Even when you explain that, hey, you are exposing yourself to mercury. The Chinese are making $1 billion off of us just on blue the supply and here. And the mercury exposes you to all kind of virus. The mercury make your brain don't develop. It make you irritable and violent and forgetful. Why you think these Jamaicans and these people that are bleaching are so unstable? And when you tell them, they don't care. Because they don't like themselves. They don't like who the Most High built them as. They don't.
I saw a documentary on bleaching in Jamaica, and this girl actually knew how to whip up the solutions. She knew how to blend it. She could be a chemist if she took her talent and skills in a positive light. She could be a chemist because people would go to her because she's one of the best blenders in the town. So when you go to her, she can whip up that solution for you to turn your skin.
Yeah, depending on how dark your skin is or not.
And then she wraps some plastic around you. You wear the plastic around you and you stay inside, and you wear long sleeves, you wear an umbrella, you wear gloves, because if too much sun, your skin may bust open. Why would you want to live like that? Just for the sake of lightening up your skin? So now that you lightened up your skin, did you make more money now because the white world?
No, it's not about making more money.
I'm not even saying
it's
that.
It's about life.
Whatever the reason is, whatever your reason is it if it's about money, you're not making no money. If
it's about life.
You look pretty, you're not looking pretty. If it's about you. If it's about you feeling good about yourself, you still don't feel good about yourself because you're walking around with an umbrella and you're covered up like a snowman in a 90-degree weather.
It's about life. It's about life.
I don't love me. I don't love how God.
That's exactly what it is. Your life, right?
Because I'm sick from the transatlantic slave trade traumatic syndrome. I'm sick. It's in my genetics. DNA is memory.
Check any black country. Check any black neighborhood. And I bet you the crime, especially homicide is high because black men don't like black men. And when you say that about black and black crime, the first thing black people say, oh, white people kill white people too. I don't care about them. I don't care about them. You just check. The number one endangered species in the human race is a black man. And the number one person to kill him is a black man. But make a white cop kill 15 for the year. It's war. But black people could kill each other 15 in a day, and it's okay. I stay away from those folks, man. It might sound weird, but ain't no Willie gonna come lynch me. Only the black dude. Matter of fact, Slick Willie is usually like Bill Clinton. You know, William. Right now, I'm telling you, man, I'm afraid of my people, bro. I stay in all the time, and when I go out and I talk to them, and I'm always talking about some real stuff, some truthful stuff, at least from my perspective, because I don't have the facts all the time, and they shun it. They don't want to talk about nothing that's sensible, that's serious, and that's real. They want to stay in a mirage, fantasy world on purpose. So that's why they have to believe, and they cling to religion.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I told you I was going to send to the link that we're having a live stream about him, and he said okay.
Man, put that on. He's not gonna listen because he probably know me.
Not, but I know what I'm doing. I said we're speaking about your Rastafari ranting. So I sent him the YouTube link so he can click on it, and if he clicks on it, he'll hear us speaking now.
Yeah.
Because somebody has to defend Rastafari since he feel nobody does. So
that's what I'm saying. We're talking about nobody defend Rastafari. And they don't know Marcus Garvey himself is being
who's defending Rastafari? I'm the only one that got to speak up for Rastafari. I'm the only one.
What about different Rastafari? First of all, the other day, I don't ever like what he talking about that little girl talking about Rastafari. That little girl ain't no Rasta. And that's what these people do. You understand? Whenever there's a situation and them expect, some
mother said arguing about a little girl who's not even Rasta.
Yeah,
and
but the thing is that
come from Rasta. Locke started way before the Rastafari movement was created. Okay,
there you go. Long time, years, centuries, 30 BC. So I mean, what I'm talking about is the hair issue. The hair issue. The hair issue does have nothing to do with Rasta. All over the world, it's been set. The same Willie Lynch situation that a African hair is nappy and it's ugly. It's kinky all over the world. And it has forced our women to have invested in these permanent agencies that actually get under your scalp, that you actually get addicted to, right? And it makes it, the look become addicted also. So after a while, you become comfortable, you blend in at the workplace and you feel comfortable because your mom's been doing that to you from 8, 9, sometimes 5 years old. So you live your whole life and never see the actual texture of your hair. Ridiculous. So me, after I got out the military, because one thing the military did for me, it made me brave. The military, one thing I realized with the Europeans or any people, as long as you be yourself and you're willing to go to your grave with your philosophy, your religion, your ideology, they respect you. When you be like people that bow and accept their name and accept their language and accept their religion, it's like you're begging. No one gives a beggar what they need or want. I know every time you drive down the street and you see the little handicapped dude or whatever out there begging with a little cup, beg you $1, even when you have it, it's never time you're going to get to him. Hell no, you're a beggar. And I don't feel like giving it to you. So keep begging. But I give bet if he jumped through your window one day, you know what I'm saying? He'll take it. You be you start giving him your car keys. How scared you are. So I've been yapping about an hour and a half now, man. So, we're probably gonna have to wrap it up soon. But the footer, if y'all listen to this, it's Rastafari Soldier of Deep Roads TV. Yeah, and I'm here with, my empress here, I don't know if she went off, do the knowledge radio. You know, we're live here on YouTube. So if you're still there, Empress, let me know if you're still there. You know? I guess not. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, seems like my Empress just got off here. So remember, you know, subscribe, like, and share. Yeah, we here on Do the Knowledge Radio. Remember to check me out on my YouTube, Deep Roots TV.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? So no more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.